Why, hello YouTube. Welcome back. This is BalorMage and this is our first of our build guides for 3.17. This one that we're seeing in the background, we tested and played a bit of this league. You will have seen Absolution going around. We've taken a slightly different take on it because we knew that all of the negative res Scourge modifiers will be gone. So we didn't want to have to use the negative 200 res method because that's going to be incredibly hard and incredibly expensive without Scourge. We don't have Scourge anymore, so if you see a guide that's using that one, please don't do it. You'll be very disappointed. However, the footage you're seeing in the background here is of a level 78 witch that on a 5-link fleshed carver doing tier 16 woke 4 atlas from last league. Now, the minions themselves didn't really get a buff, but they also didn't get a nerf. We got some small quality of lives with the patch notes, but other than that, nothing really changed. So this is exactly the level of power that you can expect to have on relatively early gear at a relatively low level in high tier maps. Obviously the Atlas changed, we're not going to have woke 4 anymore, but that's the level of content we're looking at level 78 on a 5-link, which I think is quite good. I think this is by far my favorite #1 minion build to play next league. The reason that I have it beating out Skeleton Mages is because Skeleton Mages is eye cancer and it covers your screen in just a billion projectiles, and half of the people I know's computer would shit themselves when it goes to play it. So this is my alternative. It is decently tanky. It is quite high DPS. It'll be able to boss. It'll be able to map clear. It is probably only A tier, but at everything, not S tier at anything, but you'll be able to both map and boss. So I'm pretty happy with that. So moving into the path of building, boom, some path of building. Now we have a few different setups here. So we've got this will be our goal. You'll be looking to get this high end, no EB. This isn't like a min-maxed setup. It's only 5 mil damage. When we say high end, no EB, we're looking at like, or at least for us, it would be a few days into a league. Maybe it's 1 or 2 weeks for you. I don't know how quickly you progress, but this is like our goal before we start min-maxing things, which is relatively good. Our life is still relatively low, but we've got quite a good amount of armor, quite a good amount of defense, some energy shield that gets that we can take divine shield for if we want, block and all sorts of things. We've got a moderate amount of effective health pool. This is not a disgusting amount of effective health, but it is quite good. So we're pretty happy with that. It's been very smooth to play. It's been very fast. So we also have in our trees, we also have a Devouring Diem set. If you happen to be able to get your hands on a Devouring Diem, we also have a gear set to go with it for Devouring, which changes everything ever so slightly. And we also have a early mapping one, which is how I expect it to look on day 1 in maps. And then one tree for the end of Act 10. Now, we didn't do act by act progressions on this one, mostly just because we ran out of time, but to really quickly go over it, if anyone is curious, it is relatively simple. You're literally going to come out, you're going to get Absolution at level 12, so you can just go straight into the minion nodes, skip the jewel socket because we don't have a jewel, so come up there through the life, straight over here, more minion nodes, reservation, more minion nodes, life. Congratulations, you've got all the damage you could possibly need, and now you can get life and defenses for the rest of leveling, and it will be very quick. Always rush for your +2 levels. So this will be normal lab, that will be cruel lab. You can go either way for Merc lab. I personally prefer to take the offerings because I go for things like block, but I'm also good at gearing my characters, so I don't care about the res that would come from here. Plenty of people get the res from here, this node first, because you get 30 all res and that counters your Kataba completion. Both are fine. it doesn't matter which order those last two come in, so long as you get your +2. So this one's pretty exciting. This one's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. This is the way we would do it. I will mention we have gone with the flesh carver instead of the other chest that I can't remember the name of now, that makes lightning res go far into the negative. That just isn't worth using without Scourge. It really isn't. It's going to be a big struggle. It's a more expensive chest, and then it's a huge struggle to get enough negative res to have that be worth it. So we don't want that. We're going to go with Flesh Carver. This has been a very pleasant experience, a very pleasant build. It's very, very similar to the way we used to play Dominating Blow. It's just that it's more damage, it's faster, you don't have to be in melee range, and you get to play a Necromancer. So everything about it is just better than Dominating Blow. There's no reason to play Dominating Blow anymore. This is it instead. The other thing worth mentioning is that our Skeleton Mage build, which will also be coming out super soon, is very similarly built. So if you started this and you get to early or mid maps and you decide, this isn't for me, I really don't like having to hit things, the change to move from this to our Skeleton Mage build is very minimal, super easy to do. Even the most casual players will be able to swap between those two builds almost as many times as you want. So try it out. If you don't like it, change over to the Skeleton Mage one. You'll have a good time. The Skeleton Mage one will also be linked in the description, as well as the path of building. And yeah, I hope everybody's looking forward to the new league. I am. And I will see everybody later. Good luck.